Arsenal are top of the league. Wow. What a game that was between Liverpool and Man City. In my opinion, we probably shouldn't be top of the league. I think Liverpool have been robbed in that game. The penalty at the end, for me, it's a stonewaller. It's an absolute stonewaller. And look, we'll show it here. That's a penalty. There's no way in the world that that is not a penalty. It is a high foot. It is dangerous play. Anywhere else on the field, that's given us a foul, and no one batters an eyelid. No one goes, oh, but he got the ball first. Because he cannot win the ball without endangering McAllister. If McAllister, by the way, look at the fact that McAllister's feet are off the ground and his head isn't really down. If McAllister goes to head that ball, as he would be well entitled to with it at that height, he gets studded in the face. Doku cannot win the ball with his foot without endangering McAllister. He ends up studding him in the chest. Now, yeah, there's not much force behind it, but it still studs to the chest. And if you showed that screenshot to someone that hadn't seen the game at all, and you said, do you think this is a red card or a yellow card? You'd get a fair amount of people that say, well, it's clearly a red. So if the question can be asked, is it a red card? Then it certainly is a foul. And therefore it is a penalty. And Liverpool, massively unlucky not to get that penalty. I thought they outplayed Man City. Other than the first 15 minutes, it was Liverpool's game. City looked shaky. City looked tired. You know, I was surprised at how they kind of gave up the control of that game to Liverpool. And, you know, Liverpool had a weakened team. You know, it was on paper at the start of the game. I thought City were going to win. I know plenty of you did. And Liverpool absolutely took it to them. And if Luis Diaz could finish, we'd be looking at Liverpool top of the league. And the sort of win where you turn around and go, wow, I think Liverpool are going to win the title off the back of that. As it is, it ends in a draw. Still not a bad result for Liverpool. Of course, Doku hit the post. Foden hit the bar. I think that would have been disallowed anyway. But, you know, there were chances that it could have gone the other way, which wouldn't have been deserving from Manchester City, but it could have happened. But as it is, all ends in a draw, and all ends with Arsenal being top of the table. And look, I am absolutely buzzing for that. You know, we've set ourselves up now to the point where it's in our control. It's absolutely in our control. And, you know, that's all we can really ask for. We go into the next game against City. And, you know, I'll bring it up now after the back of that 2-1 win, obviously, against Brentford. We go into this game against City, top of the table, on goal difference, but by 7 goals. So it is a considerable margin. We go into this game against City knowing that a win at the Etihad puts us 4 points clear of Manchester City, and then it becomes us against Liverpool. So there's real incentive there. Obviously, if we draw at the Etihad, that's not a bad result, but it would mean that Liverpool could go a couple of points ahead of us. It's an unbelievably exciting title race that we have ahead of us. And I think we can go to the Etihad and get points. I really do. You know, you look at the way that City played today. They didn't have a lot of control. They got lucky at times. They got away with poor finishing from Liverpool. And they just seem off the pace. And I do think, and I tried explaining this to someone the other day, that whilst the run that they are on, they are still unbeaten in 18 or 19 games, and they've won 15 or 16 of those. But, you know, they've not come up against the strongest opposition in that run. And when they are coming up against decent opposition, they're struggling this season. So I am confident. If we go to the Etihad and we play our best, I think we can win. I really do believe that. At the very least, we should be going there and getting a draw out of it. And our performances against our title rivals so far this season have been the best of any of the title. Liverpool have drawn 3 and lost 1. City have drawn 2 and lost 1. And we have won 2 and drawn 1 against our title rivals. So, you know, we have performed against them better than they've performed against each other and better than they've performed against us. And that is the sort of thing that you have to do to win a title. It's frustrating for us that we've then blown it against lesser opposition. But if we can avoid doing that and we can stay at the same level we've been at, there's a real chance for us here. And I mean, you just look at that table. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible, the title race that we have ahead of us. I'm still not going to commit to this is the best title race of all time, but it's set up in a way that it could be. You know, it could still fall off, right? We could lose to City and then lose the next game and be out of the title race. The same could happen to City. They could lose to us and then, I don't know, draw to Villa or something. But it could end up going right down to the wire. We could get into the final day genuinely where in a position where anyone and everyone could win the league. which would just be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Liverpool have got players coming back. You know, they are in a strong position now. You look at their fixtures, they've definitely got the easiest fixture schedule of us and City and themselves. You know, coming up next, they've got some nice games. Brighton at home, would expect them to win comfortably. Sheffield United at home, would expect them to win comfortably. Old Trafford away, that's where, you know, that's one of those ones where you never quite know how it's going to go. But on current form, you would expect Liverpool to win that. So Liverpool definitely have the easiest fixtures. Of the upcoming fixtures, City definitely have the hardest. Obviously, they play against us, which is one thing. But they're also going to go and play against Villa, although Villa won't have John McGinn now, so that's a bit different. But, you know, they've got, they're at home to us, at home to Villa, and then a bit later on, they're away to Spurs. So, look, it's fully up for grabs. It is fully up for grabs, and I'm buzzing for it. Other games today were interesting as well, by the way. Villa losing 4-0 to Spurs. That is absolutely massive. Massive result for Spurs in the context of the top four race as well. You know, Spurs have put themselves in pole position for that now, and Villa have been struggling. They're struggling without Kamara in the midfield. They're struggling without John McGinn, or they will struggle without John McGinn going forwards. And, yeah, they're dropping off it. You know, I think they've actually lost 3 or 4 of their last 5 home games. And I would expect Tottenham now to push on and get that 4th spot, which would be massive for them. Let me know in the comments, who do you think genuinely, if you're an Arsenal fan, which I assume most people watching are Arsenal fans, genuinely, hand on heart, who do you think wins the title? Because after today, I haven't got a clue. I always maintained, up until today, I had always maintained City was still the favourites in my opinion. They've been there, they've done it, they were picking up results, and until they're out of it, they have to be the favourites. But that performance today, not the result, because I still don't think a draw is bad for them in the grand scheme of things, but the performance today just made me really question if they are actually the favourites. Because if Liverpool can play like that and play with that intensity and that relentlessness from now until the end of the season, I really do not see them dropping many points at all. And then for Arsenal, like, we've got to go to the Etihad. That's the hardest game that any of us have to play. It's wide open. Do you think Arsenal will win it? Not can we win it, because we definitely can, but do you think we will? I'm almost at the point where I think Liverpool are favourites now. I think Liverpool got through that with a draw. They've got the easiest run in, and, you know, if they can keep up that pace under Jurgen Klopp, if that sort of Klopp leaving effect can stay there, I think they'll win it. I do think they'll win it. But equally, if we can go to the Etihad and win, then it's completely in our hands. I mean, you can justify anyone winning it. And I think that is why the title race is so exciting. Because you can make the argument for anyone and no one can tell you otherwise. I mean, I hope at this point, the people that were saying that, well, Arsenal aren't in a title race, it's between Liverpool and City. Now that we're top with 10 games to go and we're going to be top for the next 2 weeks because of the international break, you know, I hope people maybe start taking us a little bit seriously within the title race. But if they don't, I don't mind being the underdogs, not one bit. Let me know in the comments. I'll be back 6:30 p.m. tomorrow for a stream as always. If you're new and you haven't already, please do subscribe. Smash a like on the video. It really does help me out big time. And yeah, title race is on.